Captain Adam navigated the choppy waters off the coast of Somalia, busily rummaging with the control panel and gazing ahead at the sea. As he monitored the radar and checked the coordinates, he saw a few boats on the horizon. Blissfully unaware of the impending danger that lurked ahead, Captain Adam paid them no heed, thinking of them as mere Somali fishermen. But as the vessels drew closer, with purposeful and synchronized movements, his seasoned instincts began to prickle with alarm. "All hands on deck," Captain Adam's voice boomed through the ship's intercom. Pirates, armed and ready for confrontation, swiftly approached the container ship. Little did they know, Captain Adam had a surprise up his sleeve. That morning, the sun had risen over a calm sea, casting a golden glow on the container ship as it plowed steadily through the waters. Captain Adam, a seasoned mariner with decades of experience, had performed his usual routine checks, exchanging light-hearted banter with his crew. It was just another day on his voyage with nothing amiss, until he spotted two boats on the horizon. At first, he dismissed them as harmless Somali fishermen, a common sight in these waters. However, as the boats drew closer, Adam's suspicions were confirmed. Adam was aware that the trading route for this voyage was part of dangerous waters. His superiors had repeatedly assured him that pirate attacks and hijackings were unlikely and a thing of the past. However, as he stood in the bridge, the sight of armed men aboard the fast-approaching boats sent a chill down his spine. Being a seasoned mariner, Captain Adam immediately sprang into action. His hands flew across the control panel, making rapid adjustments to the ship's course and speed. He barked precise orders to his crew, instructing them to prepare for evasive maneuvers. The container ship swerved sharply, its engines roaring as it cut through the tumultuous waters. Adam's quick thinking and expert navigation allowed the vessel to deftly evade the two approaching boats. As the pirates closed in, Adam pushed the ship to its limits, weaving through the waves with skillful precision. He directed the crew to shift the cargo weight, enhancing the ship's agility. Each maneuver was executed with pinpoint accuracy, the container ship moving with surprising grace for its size. The pirate boats darted and zigzagged, trying to flank the ship from both sides. Adam anticipated their moves, his experience guiding him through the perilous chase. He altered the ship's speed and heading, creating unpredictable patterns that left the pirates struggling to keep up. Despite the relentless pursuit, Adam maintained a calm exterior, though his mind raced with strategies. He used the ship's size to his advantage, creating large wakes to destabilize the smaller pirate boats. The waves crashed against the hull, each turn creating a formidable barrier for the attackers. However, just as a fleeting sense of relief washed over him, a sudden, unexpected thud reverberated through the ship's hull. Adam's heart sank. He hadn't accounted for a third boat, hidden from view. The realization hit him like a tidal wave. The pirates had outmaneuvered him. Within moments, armed men from the third boat grappled onto the ship's side, clambering aboard with a predatory urgency. The air thickened with tension as Captain Adam watched, knowing he had to prove his mettle and save his crew at any cost. Captain Adam had weapons on board to defend himself and the crew, but the last thing he wanted was to turn this into an active shooting site. He knew the best plan was to surrender, let the pirates take control of the container ship, and have his superiors deal with the mess later. But Adam couldn't be sure that these pirates would leave his crew unharmed, even if he surrendered, and he had a duty to protect them. Time was ticking away as the pirates got even closer to the edge of the container ship. Suddenly, amidst the chaos, a plan formulated in Adam's head, and he couldn't help but smile. If these pirates wanted to mess with his ship, they were in for a wild ride. After all, Adam knew the container ship better than anyone else. Captain Adam quickly grabbed the microphone and shouted a message over the intercom. He demanded that every crew member head to the cafeteria below deck. He also informed them that pirates were coming aboard, hoping his warning was timely. He was horrified at the thought of any crew member encountering the pirates and being kidnapped or worse. After that, he quickly shut off the ship's engines, leaving it adrift at the mercy of the ocean, just as Adam wanted. As the crew followed his orders, heading to the cafeteria, the pirates boarded the ship. There were 5 of them, armed with old AK-47s. Though they appeared disorganized, their stealthy boarding showed this wasn't their first time. But this ship was much larger than any of them had ever tackled before. Unsure where to begin, the pirates hesitated. They knew they couldn't commandeer the ship. It was too big. But having come this far, they were determined to leave with something valuable. Pirate Arele, their leader, devised a quick plan. They aimed to find the most valuable, easily transportable items. One pirate suggested contacting others for help, but Arele dismissed the idea. He didn't trust other pirates and barely trusted his own crew. They knew other pirates would likely seize the most valuable items for themselves. This was a job for the 5 of them alone. To pull it off, they needed to capture some of the crew who knew the ship's layout. But the entire ship was engulfed in an eerie silence. The ship's engines were off, and the vessel was still. The pirates exchanged wary glances, sensing that this wasn't going to be an easy task at all. Captain Adam had remained in the control room, tracking their movements, and felt relieved when they split up. This division would simplify his counterattack. He could first deal with the pair, then focus on the trio. Adam radioed his 2 second-in-command officers, instructing them to lock the crew in the cafeteria and then meet him in the bridge. The commanding officers arrived promptly, poised to execute the plan. Unbeknownst to the pirates, their fate was being sealed. The officers swiftly left to set the trap, while the 2 pirates on deck grew increasingly uneasy, their fear of an ambush mounting with each uncertain step. As the 2 pirates crept along the ship, their confidence waned. The massive vessel's silence was unnerving. Being new to piracy and completely out of their depth, they felt lost. In the control room, Captain Adam and Harris swiftly sketched out a plan. They decided to exploit the ship's intricate layout, setting up a trap in the cargo hold. Faint, clattering sounds, subtly amplified by the silence, would lure the unsuspecting pirates. In the dimly lit cargo hold, Adam's crew began working silently. They strung up cargo nets and installed hidden alarms, creating a non-lethal snare around a strategically chosen crate. The tension was palpable, as each crew member understood their role in this high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Adam watched as the 2 nervous pirates, Ahmed and Yusuf, clutched their AK-47s tightly and crept towards the sound, mistaking the clattering noise for hidden crew members. They took tentative steps toward the noise, their hearts riddled with anxiety and fear. As they moved closer to the sound, greed momentarily overcame caution. They peered into the crate, eyes widening in disbelief at the sight of shiny new smartphones. These expensive gadgets promised them a fortune far beyond their wildest dreams. Hidden from view, Adam and his team watched the pirates through a small gap. They waited for the perfect moment to act, setting the trap with meticulous care. The pirates, now completely engrossed in their loot, became increasingly oblivious to the impending danger. Their caution was lost in a sea of greed, each shiny device clouding their judgment more. Their voices, hushed but excited, echoed through the cargo hold as they discussed their unexpected jackpot, completely unaware that their every word was being overheard by Adam and his team. "This is our big break, Yusuf. Ahmed whispered with a greedy glint in his eye. Perched in his hidden lookout, Captain Adam kept a watchful eye on the two pirates. His hand was steady on the trap's control, observing their every move like a hawk. Engrossed in their plunder, the pirates failed to notice the subtle changes around them. The quiet click of a door locking behind them went unheard, their attention wholly consumed by the shiny, expensive smartphones. Each passing second brought them closer to their fate, yet they remained blissfully unaware of the net closing in around them. With a swift and silent signal, Adam gave the go-ahead to his crew. In an instant, the doors to the crate slammed shut, the sound of locking bolts echoing through the hold. Ahmed and Yusuf, caught mid-celebration, were now prisoners within a cage of their own greed. In the dim cargo hold, Adam's crew exhaled collectively, relief washing over them as they confirmed the two pirates were securely locked away. This success was a vital first victory, yet they knew that the danger was far from being over. Under the harsh fluorescent lights of the crew's mess hall, Adam quickly convened a huddle. With urgency in his voice, he outlined their next move. His crew's eyes locked on him, understanding the gravity of their situation. "We've got the upper hand now, but we must stay sharp," he urged, his gaze steady and commanding. Adam moved with purpose back to the control room, ensuring every possible communication device in the crate was jammed, determined that no word of their success should reach Pirate Arail. Adam worked quickly. Keeping Arail in the dark was crucial in maintaining their advantage and safeguarding the crew from any potential backlash. Eyes fixed on the ship's surveillance monitors, Adam watched Captain Arail and his remaining crew like a seasoned predator. The grainy black and white images flickered with each movement of the pirates, providing real-time intelligence. Gathering his crew once more, Adam ordered them in a calm yet firm tone. "Stay out of sight. Stay safe. We're not through this yet." He stressed the importance of stealth, knowing their lives depended on the element of surprise. In the hushed confines of the control room, Adam reached for the radio. His voice low and steady, he contacted the Coast Guard, relaying their dire situation with the resolve of a seasoned captain. Over the static-filled line, Adam detailed the scenario. Two pirates were captured, but Captain Arail and his armed crew were still at large. His report was methodical, highlighting the urgency of their need for assistance. With the message sent, a tense silence enveloped the control room. Adam and his crew waited, the weight of each passing second heavy in the air. Their eyes flicked to the radio, hoping for a response. Despite having reached out for help, Adam knew the situation was far from over. He constantly surveyed the monitors, his mind racing with strategies, prepared to act at a moment's notice. Finally, the radio buzzed to life with the Coast Guard's response. They acknowledged the precariousness of the situation and were devising an approach plan, aiming to board the ship with minimal escalation. Their words brought a glimmer of hope, yet Adam still remained on edge. He knew that the vessel was far out in the Arabian Sea, at least 3 hours away from the nearest coast. Steadying himself for what lay ahead, he got ready for his next move. As Captain Adam watched on the CCTV, Arale led his remaining men through the ship's corridors with increased caution. The absence of Ahmed and Yusuf was alarming. Arale's instincts told him something was amiss. He motioned for his men to move quietly. As they moved deeper into the ship, the eerie silence weighed heavily on them. Captain Arail's grip tightened around his weapon as they searched through the rooms, looking for a sign of Ahmed or Yusuf. With each empty room, their alertness grew. It was as if their comrades had vanished into thin air. His men exchanged nervous glances, the weight of their situation pressing down on them. Arala's mind raced. each step forward feeling like a step deeper into danger. He knew that any wrong move could trigger a deadly confrontation with the crew. The tension was suffocating, every creak of the ship's hull making them jump. The absence of his missing team gnawed at him. He could sense they were being watched by an unseen enemy. From his vantage point, Captain Adam watched Aral's every move, analyzing his tactics. He knew that outsmarting a relay would require a careful blend of patience and ingenuity. Adam's mind worked overtime, piecing together a plan to neutralize the threat. In a quiet corner of the control room, Adam briefed his crew. "We can't underestimate Arale," he warned, his voice low and serious. They needed a plan that accounted for Arale's experience and unpredictability. The crew listened intently, aware of the high stakes. Meanwhile, in the echoing corridors of the ship, Captain Arale's frustration boiled over into aggression. With a scowl etched deep on his face, he fired his AK-47 into the steel ceiling. The loud bangs reverberated throughout the vessel, driven by anger and frustration. Emboldened by their leader's display, the remaining pirates also unleashed a volley of gunfire into the air. They hoped the noise would flush out hiding crew members, not realizing they were making the grave mistake of revealing their own locations. Captain Arale's voice boomed through the ship's corridors, issuing threats and commands. "Come out, or we'll find you," he bellowed, his voice laced with menace. The ship seemed to shudder under the weight of his threats, escalating the tension with each passing moment. In stark contrast to the chaos unfolding outside, Adam remained calm in the control room. His eyes never left the surveillance screens, his mind racing yet focused. He quietly relayed instructions to his crew, his voice a steady anchor amidst the storm. In a decisive moment, Captain Adam resolved to confront Captain Arale alone. He believed a direct, solitary approach might defuse the situation and avoid further violence. The move was bold and risky, but he knew he had to do this to ensure his crew's safety. The crew, upon hearing Adam's plan, exchanged worried glances, their faces etched with concern. Despite their apprehensions, they trusted their captain's judgment, a trust born of many voyages and shared experiences. They prepared to support him in any way possible. With nods of reluctant agreement, they continued to secure the ship's various compartments. Each action reinforced their faith in their captain's strategy. Adam equipped himself with non-lethal tools, aiming to outsmart rather than engage in a physical fight with Captain Arale. He selected a stun gun and handcuffs, tools that would incapacitate without causing harm. His approach reflected his belief in resolving conflicts through wit and strategy rather than brute force. Adam's focus was clear: end the crisis with minimal violence. Aware of the risks, Adam steered his course towards Captain Arale's last known location. His steps were measured and silent, blending caution and determination. His mind remained alert to every sound and movement aboard the ship, ready for anything. As Adam moved closer to Arale's position, a tense, uneasy silence enveloped the ship. The usual creaks and groans of the vessel seemed to quieten down, as if the ship itself held its breath. The atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation and the unknown. Rounding a corner, Adam came face to face with Captain Arale and his men. With a steady gait and an unwavering gaze, he stepped into their line of sight. The pirates, surprised by his sudden appearance, raised their weapons, but Adam remained composed. The pirates hesitated. Adam's confidence and poise suggested a man not easily intimidated, even in the face of imminent danger. Adam assessed the situation swiftly. his mind racing with potential outcomes and strategies. Captain Arail's eyes narrowed, sensing the resolve in Adam's stance. With every second that passed, the weight of the moment intensified. Adam's crew, hidden but watchful, held their breath, ready to act on his signal. Held at gunpoint, Adam's voice was calm and controlled as he spoke. "I can lead you to the ship's most valuable cargo," he offered, his voice laced with a hint of feigned subservience so he could buy time and lower their guard. Captain Arail's eyes narrowed, suspicion and greed warring within him. The promise of valuable loot was tempting, but his instincts warned him of potential deceit. After a tense moment, he nodded, agreeing to follow Adam, but keeping his weapon trained on him. Adam led the way, weaving through the ship's maze of containers. Each step was deliberate, guiding them deeper into his trap. He maintained a steady pace, giving nothing away, while remaining acutely aware of every sound and shadow. They arrived at the designated area, a seemingly unremarkable spot amidst the labyrinth of cargo. With a subtle signal, unseen by the pirates, Adam alerted his hidden crew. The tension was palpable, every crew member poised for action. Adam had led the pirates to an artfully chosen crate, filled to the brim with glittering jewelry. The sight of the treasure sparked a gleam in the pirates' eyes. Two of them hastily began filling their bags, their attention completely diverted from Adam. While the pirates were preoccupied, Captain Arail's attention was caught by another crate marked as containing high-value electronics. As he leaned over to inspect it, Adam seized the moment. With a quick push, he sent Arail tumbling into a concealed hole. The moment Captain Arail disappeared into the trap, Adam's crew sprang into action. They emerged from their hiding spots, moving swiftly and silently. Caught off guard, the remaining pirates stood little chance against the well-coordinated team. The crew worked together seamlessly, and in a matter of moments, they had the remaining pirates under control, their arms tied firmly behind their backs. The deck was now under Adam's complete control. With the pirates neutralized, Adam led his team to do a thorough sweep of the ship. They moved methodically from bow to stern, ensuring no other threats lurked aboard. They checked each corridor and cabin and secured every door. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Adam moved through the ship with a sense of urgency, ensuring the safety and well-being of every crew member. He checked in with each one, his voice a reassuring presence in the wake of the chaos. Once satisfied that all were accounted for and unharmed, he turned his attention to assessing the situation with the Coast Guards. He went back to the bridge and picked his binoculars. On the horizon, the silhouette of the Coast Guard cutter became visible. The sight of the approaching vessel brought a collective sense of relief to the crew. As the Coast Guards approached, Adam prepared to transfer control of the situation, the weight of responsibility gradually lifting from his shoulders. Upon the Coast Guard's arrival, Adam led them to where the pirates were detained. One by one, the pirates were handed over, including Captain Arail, who still seemed dazed by the swift turn of events. Before they were taken away, Captain Adam approached the Coast Guards with a somber request. "I understand these men have committed a crime, but I still ask you to show some leniency," he said. Many Somali men turn to piracy out of desperation, driven by poverty and the collapse of their livelihoods. They are victims of their circumstances as much as they are perpetrators. The Coast Guard officers nodded in response and proceeded to conduct a thorough debriefing with Adam and his crew. They acknowledged the crew's bravery and the critical role they played in averting a potential disaster. As the ship resumed its course, a sense of calm and unity settled over the crew and Captain Adam, strengthened by the ordeal they had overcome together.